let's do vectors today. So, vectors, last chapter of EMATS most of the time. So, well, arguably maybe one of the most annoying chapter that student actually find out. But it's actually quite important, I guess, if you actually do a further studies even in poly or especially when you go to JC. This is really important chapter. When you go to JC, the vectors are actually a recurring chapter and it's going to be very difficult. So it's always good to have a good foundation on the vectors in secondary. It's much easier in secondary, obviously. Okay, let's do this chapter without further ado. Now, I want to explain about the basic of vectors itself. If you learn physics, you might know a little bit about it. Okay, vectors is about direction. Where you start and where you stop, that is vectors. Now, let's just imagine that Pepe, this green frog, is going in a certain direction. Let's call this vector 1. He's walking to the bridge. And then, from the bridge, he walks all the way to the intersection. This will be vector 2. Okay? And then, from here, he actually managed to walk to the mini Merlion, vector 3. Okay, there are two Merlion, by the way, if you didn't realize it. Okay, the big one and the small one. Okay, let's just say this is the mini Merlion. Okay, so in total, he actually did 3 directions, 3 steps to actually go into the direction to the destination that he wants. Okay, now, all in all, you can actually say that this is the final vector. Okay, we call this as a result vector. Okay, now, what we know about vector is that they don't really care about the lengths that you actually take. What they care is about where you stop and where you start. Okay? Now, in vectors, you can actually assume that vector 1 plus by vector 2 plus by vector 3, all of this equals to the result vector. Okay? This is one of the most common formula you're gonna do in vector. We call this a vector addition formula. Okay, you just need to sum up where you start and where you stop. Okay, no matter how many times you actually do the vectors, okay, what matters is that you actually start and stop. Where is the start and where is the stop? Then you just add every single vector that you actually found. Alright, so yes, this is one of the main and basic formula you're gonna use for vectors. Okay, now vector doesn't really care about the length. Of course, there is actually a method to find the length regardless. Okay, but again, like what I said, you just need to know that vector is only interested in the start and the stop. Okay, now before we actually go into depths of the formulas and more complicated understanding, let's think about what vector has in the property wise. Okay, let's just say that there is a point O and there is actually a point A. You go from O to A. Okay, let's call this vector as vector OA. Now, this is a very simple naming. Where you start is point O, where you stop is point A. Hence, the name of the vector is OA. Okay, now, whereas if I actually go the other way around, say that I will go from A to O, that is, then I just need to call this vector as vector AO. Okay, the truth is that vector AO and vector OA are actually negative of each other. This is very important property that you can use. A negative vector means that you are actually opposing the direction of the alphabet. Alright. In vector, they also like to call the name as a certain alphabet. Think about it like algebra. They call it, let's just say that the vector OA is actually can be denoted by algebra A. Usually they will put a squiggly line on top of it. Okay. Therefore, I can say that vector AO is negative of A. Yeah, basically it's just about direction. Okay, that is one property. Next, parallel vector. Let's say again that you have vector OA. Let's call it A lah. Okay, and then I actually want to make it 1.5 times longer. Okay, but not also that the direction is actually the same. I call this arrow as vector 1.5a. What do they have in common? Well, they are parallel. That is 1. Now, you might think about it that, how come this is named the same vector? I thought that they are actually located differently, then I need to call it different vector. No, vectors can be located in different position. What matters is the direction. Okay, if they are parallel, then you actually can name it the same way. So I can call this as vector A as well. Only that this one is actually 1.5 units compared to the previous vector. So I just put it as 1.5A. Simple as that. And of course, if I actually make the one opposite direction, again, I'll just call this as negative 1.5A. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the few methods to actually express length of vectors. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, now let's go back to the vector addition. Okay, this will be the building block of the chapter. Let's just say that I want to go from certain point A to a point B. Okay, now to go from A to B, you don't have the path. Think about it that you want to go from one location to another location, but you cannot go straight away because maybe there's a building or maybe there's a road actually holding you. Okay, I mean passing the road is quite dangerous. So what you need to do, you actually go to the intersection, okay, where there is actually a zebra cross, for example. That is point C. Then after that you reach point C, you actually can follow the zebra cross and actually pass and get into the point B. Okay, now from here I can actually name this vector AB equals to vector AC plus by vector CB. Okay, yeah, this is just about connecting the dots. Okay, basically vector addition formula. You can actually remember it by looking at what you start with. You start at point A, you stop at point B. So the vector that I made is actually starting at point A and then finishing at point B. Okay, meanwhile the two alphabets C are actually the connector. Like how do I even connect the two vectors? I must make sure that the two alphabets are actually the same thing. Okay, this again is what you call as addition law. Okay, or sometimes called as a triangle addition law. Okay, and then there is another one, parallelogram law. Okay, let's call parallelogram here. Alright, this is point A, and again this is point B. I want to go point B. Okay, this is point C, and this is point D. Alright, I want to go from A to B. Let's put a dotted line. Yes, so our objective is to get the vector AB. Now, like usual, I will go from vector A to C. Okay, however, I'm not given an idea about what is vector CB. They don't tell you what is vector CB. What they tell you is actually the vector AD instead. Okay, now as long as vectors are parallel and they are the same length, they are actually equal to each other. Meaning to say that vector AD are pretty much the same thing as vector CB. Okay, hence, if I want to use the vector addition formula, of course I will use AB equals to AC plus by vector CB. And let's just say that you don't have the vector CB. Well, you can actually just put down plus by vector AD instead. Okay, again this is because that the vector AD and vector CB are the same direction. Okay, they are pointing the same direction and they are the same length. That's why they are transferable, substitutable. Okay, yes, this is again the parallelogram or parallel law. Okay, simply said, if the two vectors are parallel and the same length, you actually can do substitution. Okay, quite important to actually apply. Next, vectors and coordinate geometry. Well, this is one of the most common thing to be asked in the chapter. Okay, for a good reason. There are actually coordinates, and therefore there is actually a way to pinpoint the location of a vector. Okay, let's just say I have point O and then I have point B, negative 6,2, let's just say, and then I have a vector point A, maybe here, just put down as 2,4. Okay, now I can actually express a few vectors here. First, vector OA. Okay, now imagine that I want to go from O to A. Okay, so now the vector is actually in a coordinate geometry, meaning to say I can express how do I move from one point to another, and hence that is what you call as vector. Now in a coordinate geometry, right, you need to express the vector in a matrix form. The matrix is actually made by X and Y. X is the horizontal movement and Y is the vertical movement. Okay, the horizontal movement from point O to A is 2 units to the right hand side and 4 units to the top side. That's the vector OA, 2, 4. Vector OB is how I go from point O to point B. I need to go 6 units to the left, so I need to put a negative 6. 2 units to the top, so negative 6 and then 2. Okay, now just in case you are actually asked about the special property on what they have here, all of these are actually called as position vector. Now, why do they actually have a special name? Now, they are a vector OA and OB, but not just any kind of vector. This vector originated from point O, the origin of the chordal geometry. Okay, the center. Now, so what is so special? Well, this position vector also tells us the coordinate. I mean, yes, of course you can see it from the picture, but if let's say that you are doing some question and then you realize, oh, I have a vector OA 2, 4, meaning to say that you have coordinate of A 2, 4. You have vector OB negative 6, 2. Therefore, you have point B, which is negative 6, 2. Okay, so yeah, position vector is actually revealing where the coordinate is located. Okay, you have the coordinate of A and B. Now, let's consider movement from vector A to vector B. Okay, now using the chordal geometry here, I can actually trace how do I go from A to B. Now first I need to go from point A, right? Okay, I need to go down and then I need to go to the left. How do I make this horizontal? Yes, just nice like this. Okay, the movement down, well, y equals to 4, right? Over here, the y is actually 4 for the point A. To reach point B, I need to move down by 2 units. Okay, 2 units movement downwards. And then, I need to move to the left by 8 units because 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Alright, so that is how you can move from vector point A to point B. Meaning to say, if I need the vector AB, it's just simply negative 8 and negative 2. Be careful, remember that you have to write down the x and then the y, not the y and then the x. The x movement is 8 units to the left and the y movement is 2 units to the down. Okay, that's vector AB. Okay, now what's interesting here is that there is actually a property, the addition law, that we can actually use. Now, I know that vector AB is just negative 8 and negative 2, but if you actually consider the first formula that I introduced you today, that is vector AB must be vector AO plus by vector OB, does it actually work? Okay, can we find the vector AB without tracing the points? I mean, imagine that every single time of question of vector, you need to draw the diagram. Like they don't provide you, you every time need to provide the diagram. That is a waste of time. So rather than just drawing it, why not we actually use the addition law, the triangle law? Okay, so let's find vector AB. First, I need AO. AO is actually negative of OA. We got it just now. Plus by vector OB, and of course you also had it. Negative OA, then I just put negative 2 and 4 plus by vector OB. Okay, you learn in matrix that if you see a negative number outside the matrix, you just need to put the number or the sign inside. So then you got this. Sum them together, you got negative 8 and negative 2. And voila, take a look. The result is the same thing. Okay, this proves that you don't need to every time draw the question, draw the diagram to actually get the vector. You actually just use the addition formula. It works well. Okay. Now, in addition, because of vector now is in chordal geometry, they often ask you to find the length of vector. Okay, find the length of vector OA, find the length vector of OB. Okay, find the length of vector AB. Now, you actually can see it clearly that to find the length here is basically just like chordal geometry. Finding the length of OA is actually just a Pythagoras theorem. You just do square root of 2 square plus by 4 square. Okay, now to denote length of vector, the vector you need to put 2 vertical lines like this. It's almost like a modulus symbol, although you don't learn it anymore. Okay, but let's just say this is the length of OA. Okay, length of OB, pretty much the same thing. Okay, you do square root of vector OB is negative 6, 2, so you take negative 6 powered by 2 plus by 2 powered by 2. vector O of AB, you want to find the length of it, same thing, negative 8 bracket square plus negative 2 bracket square. Alright, so it's pretty much resemble your finding the length of Pythagoras theorem. Okay, very easy to remember. Okay, so let's see some questions. Maybe we can actually practice a little bit. If I have vector AB and vector BC, find out the length of AC. Okay, finding the length of AC, I need to find the vector of AC first. Okay, simply just take AB plus by BC, negative 2 and 4, plus by 1 and 8, and then you just get negative 1 and then 12. Finding the length of AC, you just need to do Pythagoras, so negative 1 squared plus by 12 squared. And that will be square root of 145. Okay, nice. A is a point 26, B is a point negative 2, negative 4. Find the vector AM, where M is the midpoint of AB. Well, if you want to draw this, I think it's totally fine, but okay, you know what? Let's try to draw this. Negative 2, negative 4 is pretty much down there. 2,6 should be up here. Okay? That's point A and that's point B. M is somewhere in the middle. M is the midpoint. Need to find the vector AM. Okay? Yeah, since I draw this, right, I think I can do a midpoint theorem just like in quadratic geometry. But do I have to? I mean, yeah, you can lah. It's totally free. Whatever method you want to do in O level, as long as you got the answer, it's totally perfect. Okay, I mean, present your answer well enough lah. Yeah, but I want to solve this with vector only. Okay, so what do I need to do? First, I want to find the vector AB, which is vector AO plus by vector OB. Okay, now I don't actually draw point O at all here. Okay, but I can get the vector OB and vector OA because remember, position vector, okay, is actually the coordinate itself. Now let me fix the AO first into OA. Yeah, so since OA and OB are position vector, I can put them into the matrix negative of 2, 6 plus by negative 2, negative 4. You see, I immediately make the coordinate into a vector because of the position vector. Okay, and then sum this together is just a matrix. So I got negative 2, negative 2, negative 6, negative 4. Tada! This is vector AB. Now, I want to find the vector AM, right? Now, what do I get is a vector AB. So you can think of it that I'm pointing downwards from point A to point B. The question requests to find the vector AM from point A to point M. Since point M is in the middle of AB, I can safely say that AM is actually half of vector AB. So then I get this and this. Okay? Yeah, this is the concept that I explained earlier about the scalar number. Okay? Or that is the multiple. So you see the size of the vector is half of the other. So just put a half, like you multiply by half. Okay? Simplify them, I get negative 2 and negative 5. And that's the vector AM. Okay? Yeah, should be simple. Okay? Next. Point A is this, point B is that. Find out the coordinate of M. Okay? Just now we have point AM, which is negative 2, negative 5, right? Yeah. Now, what I want is the coordinate of M. This means that I want to find the vector of OM. Okay, remember, coordinate is equals to the position vector. Now, to get this, I can just take OA plus by AM. Okay, why do I pick OA? Well, because if I pick O and A, right, I can continue with A and M. Remember about the connecting of the alphabet, vector addition formula. Okay, I cannot take OB plus AM because OB, well, if I say OB, right, then I need to continue with BM. I don't have BM, I have AM only. Hence, I actually do this, OA plus AM. Okay, hence I have 2, 6, and then plus by negative 2, negative 5, and therefore I got 0 and 1. Okay. Next, collinear. Point A, point B, and point C are collinear. Okay, this is a common question to be asked, and a lot of students do not realize what is collinear actually. I mean, well, The word itself actually means that they are actually in one straight line. Co is together, linear is straight line. Okay, so together in a straight line, collinear. Okay, how do I prove that? In quadratic geometry, this kind of question also appears, and what you need to do is just find the gradient of AB, gradient of AC. Show that they have the same gradient. Now, for vectors, we are doing with vector way. Okay, let's find the vector AB first. Okay, and maybe after that vector AC or vector BC also can. I'll just find AC. Okay, AB, AO plus OB. Okay, so negative OA plus by OB, and therefore negative 2, negative 6 plus by negative 2, negative 4, and hence I get negative 4 plus, right, so negative 10. Vector AC, okay, AO plus by OC. This is negative OA again plus OC, and just put the number like what we got earlier. OC is 411, however. This will give us 2 and 5. Now, how do you prove a collinearness in vectors? Okay, first of all, if they are collinear, they must have a common point. You see this vector AB and AC, right? Both of them contain the point A, meaning to say that they originated from point A. Next, the vector itself, this number and this number. Now this vector will be parallel also. Okay, to prove they are collinear, they must be also parallel. Okay, to show that two vectors are parallel, you need to show that they actually are a multiple of each other. Example, negative 4 and negative 10 here, I can factorize the number 2, okay, and the negative sign out of the matrix. So then I get negative 2, bracket 2 and 5. Now, you can see here there is a negative 2 multiplied by the matrix 2, 5. Okay, this is the proof that the two vectors AB and AC are actually parallel. Okay, and that is they are scalar multiple of each other. Yeah, you have a number outside of the matrix. That is how you prove it. Next, you have point A, point B, point C. You have point D and point E. Find the coordinate of E such that AB is 2 of DE. Wow, this is so many things to ask. Okay, first I need AB, right? I'll just use the AB that I got earlier. I was having AB as negative 4 and negative 10. Okay, so this is equals to 2 of vector DE. Okay, 2 vector DE. DE itself is DO plus by OE. Okay, I break down the vector. Okay, I don't know what is vector DE, but I do know vector OD. Okay, OD is 0, 2, right? But this is DO. So again, if you have the opposite direction, I just put a negative vector. So negative 0 is 0, negative 2, plus by vector OE, which is AB. Okay, they mention it as AB, right? Sum them together. I have A and then B minus 2 equals to the negative 4 and negative 10. Alright, simplify the right hand side. I'm getting 2A and then 2B minus 4. Matrix equals matrix, so then they must be equal row by row. Negative 4 equals to A, and therefore A is negative 2. Negative 10 is 2B minus 4. So I just need to solve for B. Negative 3. Yeah, okay, that is the example for this question. Okay, of course there are so many more about vectors that you will have to try. Okay, the variety of questions is just quite a lot. Knowing that vector is actually related with quadratic geometry, so well, the variety of the questions can be quite interesting. Okay, I suggest that you can take a look at the O-level, past O-level questions about how they actually ask for vectors. Okay, the basic concept I have taught you already here. Okay, remember that vector is about connecting the dots. Okay, vector, if they are parallel, then they are actually a multiple of each other, meaning to say that it's like 2 times of each other or 3 times or half of each other. If you see opposite direction, then you put a negative. If the vector is a position vector like OA and OB and OC, that is actually the coordinate as well. You have the coordinate and you have the vector. very convenient. Alright, yes, so that is all for vectors. I hope this short lesson of vectors will help you for your O-level E-Maths. See you again on the next video. Bye bye.